See what happens.
So I
Yeah,
I I don't speculate too much on it, but the oil chart did kind of make a triple bottom situation. I'm not too keen on triple bottom as a chart pattern, but we did touch down here. The last time we were down here, right back over here in April last year, Iran started shooting missiles. And then we're down here again, and guess what happens? A little bit of upset happens in the Middle East. It's kind of funny how this happens. We
kind of funny.
get down in the mid 50s and they start shenanigans. Like
Somebody's going to launch something.
they know how to get the price of oil back up. I'm just saying, like
Yeah, I know. Take a look at XOM, Exxon. Look at this
yeah,
sucker. Getting away from me, man. I had a
you know
nice
they
position at 110 and I've been selling calls on it and it's been awesome until they took it away from me at 123 and I haven't been able to get back in yet.
yeah, so they're in the news like with their conflict with Trump, I guess. But he's supposedly maybe they're gonna get kicked out of this Venezuela deal because they wanted
Yeah.
assurances or whatever. But
They want to. They want to get kicked out of there. After they go in there and see some pumps that have been running since 1914, they definitely don't want to go. Seriously, man, some of that stuff is original. Uh, Rough down there. Very, very rough. Too much money to fix it up, Dinosaur Skip says. Yeah, it's not worth investing in. Plus, they could have it taken away from them right after they clean it up again.
yeah, I was reading something over the weekend that there's not just like $100 billion to rebuild the oil industry, but they need almost $1 trillion worth of infrastructure upgrades just to
Mm-hmm.
get to the oil fields
Yeah,
and get that stuff out to the ports and get it onto ships. So it's not just we're not just farting around here. Like
yeah,
when
yeah,
we say it's dilapidated, like it's there's no like we're talking about dirt roads to get to the
yeah,
oil fields and stuff like that, not highways that
yeah.
real modern machines need to get out there, not paved, nice, accessible sites. So,
None of it. And the equipment doing the pumping, like I say, is ancient. The road, sometimes they can't get it out. It's just very nasty. I don't even think the oil is very good, as Bob S. is saying. There's really no demand for it except maybe in Cuba. But the Exxon guy, I think he's right. He's been doing a great job running that company.
yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens in that whole deal. Yeah, I don't know. May fly in the face of Trump, but the narrative is, it's an interesting story anyway.
It
And
is.
here's the price pattern right there, right there. We're breaking higher, potential to go up to 130
Yep.
if this plays out right here.
This is a
Oh,
moneymaker. These guys, they don't even really need oil. They got a lot going on.
it's kind of been stuck in the mud though for a lot of years right
Hmm.
here, right
Yeah,
around
I've
that
been liking it. I've been loving it. I've
114.
been owning it forever.
And
It's one of the kings of my dividend portfolio.
it's just not been a big mover. For a long time we hung out right at 100 too,
Yep.
just under.
I sold some 123 strike price puts on XOM, just so everybody knows. Five for starters. I got 500 called out at 123. I went back in.
I'm surprised this is not your big baby today here.
Oh, that is my big baby.
I
I did a nice credit spread on that sucker this morning. Yeah.
told you
Wow.
it's going to 337,
Yeah, you did. Where is it right now?
339.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So I sold the what I do? The 325 put and bought the 320 250 put. Look how far out of the money that is already.
Yeah, craziness.
I know.
Do that this morning? Or did you do
Yeah.
it?
My 10 o'clock Tuesday trade. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know. That's going to be, I don't know, 38 in a row now. If knock on wood, I'm not going to count it. I think we're at 37, so I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. But yeah, this is, and again, if you look at the 6 month trend on Goog, can you pull that up?
Yeah, let me
This is
all the way back. Like
yeah,
that's longer than
yeah,
6 months, but there you go.
nice
It's
man. I like that right there. So yeah, that's I'm all about that. I'm all about that stuff right there, that trend. Now I'm a long-term player in Goog. I've been in it before the split. I bought a bunch of it at 2,500. Well, I owned it when it was 2,500, but I bought it way lower than that, and then it split at 116 and went all the way down to 88. I've been selling calls against the whole lot for 3 years, and here it is now, finally catching up. What a laggard! You know, you talk about. I love that expression where it sufficiently bummed people out. Like Google had done that so many times on earnings, bum people out, and then it finally got going. You look back in 2023, laggard. 24 didn't do a whole lot. 25 kind of what, flat. You know, now finally. And this is what I'm looking for Tesla to do. Same kind of thing. Go from laggard to leader. But how do
yeah.
you like this right here, my man?
Wow, I mean, it's looking rich, but when they're looking rich, it's ripe for a pause or consolidation.
I could
So
use it because selling calls against this thing, I need a little pullback.
it's definitely looking rich though.
Yeah.
When they just rip straight up,
Yeah.
they need to take a breather.
No resting. Yeah, no, that's it's going to be tuckered out here soon.
So it's one you got to be, I guess, careful about because they can get tired and run out of juice.
Yeah,
And,
I'll write
but
this down before I forget.
yeah, I know you like the uptrend, but I've been talking about Meta going to pull back to this 618 level for, gosh, a couple weeks, months. I don't know. Ever since we made the bottom back here in November, I've been looking for it to do a secondary pullback. We are doing that right here. We're holding so far. If we can hold on to this and start another, start moving higher again, this is my measured bounce pattern. This sets up Meta for an incredible run to possibly the 1100 to $1,300 area.
You see, you're good at picking these, I wouldn't say bottoms, but I'd say patterns. You know, you're good at that. And I don't have any skill like that. I got to have that trend because, I got the fourth grade mindset. It's got to be trending higher.
Yeah.
I can't. This
Well,
is a sophisticated entry. I don't have that much sophistication. You're great at this.
what it did, it's a nested pattern, is what I call it. It made this move up from last year, Liberation Day, up through the highs in the summer. Did a 618 retrace. That's my measured bounce pattern right there. So this little baby move right here is a baby version of this big pattern. This move up, this retrace, this move up, this retrace. It's a little nested. Fractal in nature, if you've heard that. It's
Hmm.
self-similar on a smaller scale. If this plays out, has this big upside potential, and the target is off of this one back here, and this is your entry. This is your confirmation entry right here. If we can hold this and turn back higher right there.
So you would wait for it to tick up a little bit before you got in?
And I want to see it actually hold this, like
Hmm.
not just continue on down tomorrow, because then it kind of can break the whole pattern.
Now,
This
is
is
this
where
something that comes up on,
patience and discipline comes in right here.
for sure. Is this something on a watch list you have, or do you get an alert when this pattern shows up?
I I just watch. I pull up the Mag 7 and look at it every day.
Hmm.
And I watched Meta all the way into the top and then all the way into the pullback. And when it hit this, it started being on my daily check it out list. We came up here, and the only reason I didn't take an entry here is because we rejected breaking through that orange roadmap line. You know, it came up and
I
made this
see.
spike and rejected. And at that point, I wanted to see this retrace. That spike happened back here in mid-November. And I've just been sitting here waiting, waiting, waiting for 2 months now. And now we hit this 618. So now I'm on red alert to find a position if we can hold that level. I don't want to see it get much below like 620. I can take a little bit more dip, but if we go much below 620, it indicates that this thing may fail and go on down and make a lower low than what we made back here April last year.
Now, would this be a directional trade with you just going long the stock?
I would probably get in via something like METU, which is a leverage ticker for Meta. Looking for a long-term upside. I'd probably be selling some calls and stuff on it, you know.
That gap down looks juicy.
Yeah.
Got to be filled in.
Yeah, this is this is Direxion. We like Direxion with a 2x leverage. It doesn't have super liquid options like TSLL, but it does still have some
It's
options.
got a nice beta.
So, it does have weeklies. They're not nearly as liquid, but it does give me some options to play options on this position and cash flow it while I wait for that longer term upside to get going. It could take, it could be 27 or 28 before we get to that 1100 to 1300 on Meta. But
That dividend.
that's like a double on Meta. So when you 2x a double, that's 4x potential here. So we're talking about going from 30 all the way up to like 120 to 150 maybe. And that'd be a pretty nice
Wow.
upside on
It
top of
would
selling
be.
options along the way.
And look at that dividend
Yeah, I mean 2.73. I mean that's fat dividend.
and
You know,
juicy
it's
beta. I like that beta. Too much beta, when you showed me that list the other day, and thank you for sending that list to me. But some of those betas are too high for me. Anything three, you know, I'm not liking it. But this would be great. So you'd straight up buy this stock, or you'd look to get
yeah.
in via a cash secured put.
I'd probably just straight up buy it at this point. If Meta confirms that we're going to go higher, I'd probably just go ahead and buy some here and start cash flowing it.
So you'd need a couple more days though, right, to tick up.
Yeah, today is a big dip day. And it's not confirming we're holding anything. We do have the Supreme Court thing supposed to come out tomorrow, and that could just blow up the whole market if uh if things don't go the right way. So
I got a
uh,
lot of dry powder, man. I would like to see it.
I just got this feeling like we're just waiting for some excuse to sell off the market.
Exactly. We're going to blame it on anything, but it won't be something we see coming. It'll be something kind of lame, and then they'll blame that for a good 10% pullback.
And
I
that's
like,
why I think like the Supreme Court decision on tariffs is like a perfect excuse to
yeah.
just sell everything. It won't even make any sense. Maybe they just say, yeah, Trump can keep doing it and the market sells off. I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Plus,
Um,
Trump uses the words "we're screwed" if 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 the courts force him. I mean, that's not something. It's not a very reassuring way to
yeah.
calm people's nerves, right? About especially investors. They're already jittery and scared half to death every time we make a new high. Yeah. What's the poly market say?
Yeah, I was trying to find let's see, what the devil is that? Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump. Right now we're still sitting at 27%.
This is fascinating how accurate this thing is. Uh, it really is kind of scary, right?
So we're saying 73% chance that the Supreme Court rules that the tariffs are no good. So
73% chance that he rules that the tariffs are. Oh, wow. Now, why do you think people come up with that idea?
hey, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, that's a heavy skew, right? That's three quarters or more.
eh,
Taxes, Dinosaur says. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
we're talking right around three quarters. 75% would be three quarters. So, um, you know, people are saying, guess you look at popular opinion and people are spouting off that, legally Congress is who has to implement tariffs, not Trump. And despite the declaring a trade war as an emergency, it's not really an emergency. And, so that makes his ability to implement tariffs bullshit. And
Well,
I
what
don't
if
know.
they say you can't do it, and then Trump says, Congress, go ahead and do it, and then they just do it?
I mean, that's entirely possible too. So, and Congress could give him power to do it. I don't know that that would happen, but they could say, hey,
He's not kind of running with Congress, though. Most of the time, I think a prudent president would maybe think about it before you extract a guy from his own country.
I have
So
no
this
idea.
dude, man, there's nothing off limits for Trump. He's going to go ahead and take Greenland, sink Cuba, give Puerto Rico to the Russians. This dude, man, I tell you.
Yeah, but despite despite the thought that we're going to declare the tariffs illegal, the the popular opinion is that we're not going to have to repay them.
Oh, no way he would repay him.
So
Never going to repay him. What's this thing say about Greenland? Trump
let's
says he's getting it one way or another. You just give it up peacefully or we take it.
let's see what they say about Greenland. If I'm sure it's in here somewhere. It's got a 23% chance of happening that we acquire
Oh, man.
Greenland in this year.
That's a bummer. I'd love to see Greenland be a U.S. state.
Mar-a-Lago North.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Place is probably loaded with minerals and rare earth stuff and oil and everything else. Peaceful people. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, Trump. What
They're
else we
probably
got?
fiercely independent, though. I doubt they're going to come along peacefully.
It's just, will the odds hit something? And people betting on the odds that, that we're going to bet on. I
Betting
tell
on
you.
the odds that we're going to bet on.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, what happened before 2027? 17% chance. So lower chance that it happens before 27.
Does it show how much has been bet? Oh,
So, yeah,
$7,000. Yeah.
not 7 million, 7.3 million.
7.3 million?
Yeah, that's millions right
Man,
there.
jeez.
Yeah,
All right. This
big
thing's
market.
bigger than I thought. I wonder what do they make on the spread, Poly Market. This thing's got to be insanely profitable. I saw them on Hive platform. You can invest in it, but they keep raising the market value. But this would be a great IPO.
So there's only 2.5 million on this Supreme Court thing. And then we look at the most popular stuff in here.
How about Khomeini getting tossed out?
I mean,
Can you see him and Putin and Assad all sitting down for lunch somewhere in Moscow?
I don't know, man.
That would be
That one's got
crazy.
that's got 23% chance of happening by the end of the month.
That's where he's going. He's going to Moscow. Him and his $95 billion dollars. He's got tucked under his turban.
And there's a 50% chance it falls before when he loses it before the end of the year. 50-50. I mean, it's interesting, like just to poke around in here and see what it's like you said, this is amazingly accurate that people get
Scares
this
me.
stuff right.
Scares me.
And it's kind of like the hive mind. You can just kind of read into what's going on.
Super Bowl chimp? Who's going
Yeah.
to be the chumps?
And right now,
The Bears.
Seattle's
See, they don't know anything. These people don't know football. They might know about Iran, but they don't know anything about football. If they only give the Bears a 5% chance, this thing is.
there you go, Blake. That's Seattle and Los Angeles and Buffalo, New
Yeah.
England.
Yeah.
Seattle winning the bowl.
No way.
Yeah.
No Kittle, no Bowl.
Golly, I keep wheezing today.
Yeah. How's the air quality over there?
Yeah, then those dudes building that office down there are smoking like chimneys and
Are they really? Oh,
comes
the
up comes up
construction
through
guys?
comes up through the floor. I can smell that cigarette
Oh my
smoke.
God, that would kill me. I
Yeah,
can't handle that.
it's rough. Yeah, they had chemicals down there one day, and it was about make your eyes tear up, like whatever they were doing down there. And so they're down there smoking like chimneys now. So
Nasty.
anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Jerome Powell going to be federally charged by June 30th. 12% chance.
What did he do?
I don't even
Besides
know.
nothing. What are they charging him for?
Is he going to jail?
Spending money on the building?
As far as I know, he technically lied under oath
Ooh.
about the building.
Ooh. Let me tell you something. He wouldn't make it 3 days in jail.
So, yeah, technically he lied under oath. I don't
Ooh,
know.
that's not a good thing. But Trump will pardon him. He'll let him do a weekend in there, and then he'll pardon him.
And just kiss the ring.
Put him in the hoosgow for a couple of days. Put him in the cooler, and then let him out.
And kiss the ring, and we'll let you know who's the
Yes,
boss.
yeah, that's right. And prepare the next guy. Jail's waiting you too. You don't lower rates the way I want them to. You're going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad though that that's the situation we're sitting in here. Was that like
Yeah.
the the president of the country threatens the supposedly independent Fed? I think it's all been a ruse anyway, though. I don't think the Fed's been independent for a long time.
Oh,
I think it's really been politically aligned,
totally. But
and
the
despite what they
facade,
say, yeah, the facade they put up, oh yeah, we have all these data points and we just vote, blah 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 blah. And it's all bull crap. It's
the
all bull crap.
facade of independence is what investors want to see, especially institutions. They don't want to see it get political. They
Yeah.
don't want to see it fall to a party. They want to see it remain completely independent, and they want to be confident that it's going to be independent going forward. But Grump wants his finger in every little thing, so he's if he can't influence this guy, it ain't happening.
I mean, you're not wrong. So it's, but it is what it is. It's I mean, I don't know. It's I try not to stay in politics. I don't know much about politics. I don't
Yeah, me neither. I don't
spend
want
much time. And how do you know a politician's lying? Their lips are moving.
to know. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and it happens on both sides. So
it does. It does. Yeah. Yeah, just got to respect the system. That's all. I don't like to see the disrespect, whether it's a president I like or I don't like. I just don't like seeing the media just hammering on everybody so much, all the little infighting. Reminds me of junior high.
well, it's
Not good.
it's they say politics is where you go when you're not pretty enough for the movies or whatever. So
Here's our little baby.
I like this pattern right here. This is the same pattern that Meta's kind of set up on, and we have potential to come all the way up here, 550 target.
Hmm.
That's the target I've been talking about for, gosh,
Long
all year
time.
last year.
Yep.
And
I just took some more cash secured puts down at the 1850. I can't get enough.
I'd love to see this thing just take off and go.
Yep. I'm also not going to sell calls against the whole position because I don't want to cap it. I really think this is going to have its bust out moment, and it's going to catch up and surpass and be a leader.
Yeah, I mean it has big potential. Just waiting on something.
Yeah.
Now we could
Yeah.
see, just so people are aware, we could see this rally up in the next couple of days, maybe back to this prior high. We get down to earnings later this month. We get another pullback before it
Disappointment
actually
because of the cars. Yeah.
before it actually breaks out. So we could see another several weeks of chop, maybe even another month of chop before we actually break out. So this is not like an imminent gotta go, but on the flip side, it could just go. We could just take off.
He's got to shift the narrative to robotics and get off the cars. Everybody's going to say, you know, uh, they're not doing well in China. They're not doing well in Europe. People know that, but it's more than just a car company now.
But they had the number one selling car in the world for like the third year in a row. So
Which one was that?
the Model Y, Model Y.
Yeah. I'm not taking positions in Tesla stock, Clyde. I have just a tiny bit of Tesla stock, but I'm kind of loading up, I guess you'd say, on TSLL. Got some cash secured puts, 1850 all the way down to 17. And the 17s I don't expect to get. I just did that for cash flow, but I like to play this a little closer to the vest and actually have it assigned to me. That's one of my favorite plays because every time it's happened, it's been a huge windfall. So that's what I like to do. And I don't want to just do the cash secured puts. I'm doing kind of the triple header where I want the cash secured puts, of course, because I like the cash flow, but I also want to participate in the upside. So I want to be just long the stock, and then I want to cash flow my long position a little bit by selling calls against some of that position, but I want to leave some of it uncapped because I think this is going to be my biggest hit of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be.
I do. I just do. All my other stuff is looking good, but uh, this is going to be my biggest hit. And, people like Chris says, why are people always afraid of getting assigned? I don't know. It's a weird myth. I guess they don't really want the stock, or they're afraid to get the stock put to them. They just don't want to own it, or it's in a downtrend or something. But I only do this on stuff I want to own. I don't do cash secured puts just for a high yield on a trade. It's got to be something I want. And that's either something I think is poised to really blast off like this, or uh, something that's in a great trend like Goog.
And this has this bounce pattern right here. This move up, that bounce off of the orange line, and the bounce off the 618 line. And had you usually, well, I'm not gonna say usually, but when both those line up and we get continuation, this is trend, pullback, continuation, wind up. If we get continuation, usually it plays out in a bigger way than normal. Normal would be a target down in this area. And usually we play out in a bigger way when we get this all lined up right here. But the risk here is that leverage tickers, which this is a 2x leverage on Tesla, do not always follow the patterns. So despite this having that bullish momentum and potential, it might still fail. So I like the potential. I have hundreds, thousands of shares of this myself already. Several, probably dozen, yeah, several dozen puts sold against it on top of the shares I already have, and just kind of waiting to see what happens.
And we're getting paid to wait,
Yeah,
right?
getting paid to wait.
Getting
And,
paid to
somebody
wait.
asked if Nvidia has leverage tickers, and it does. Like, and you roll down, you can search in TradingView here, and you roll down through here. NVDL, there's Granite shares, and there's other ones. There's a Yield Max, which is different. That's not leverage. If you have an NVDU, there's Direxion, has 2x leverage. There's an NVDD, that's a bearish 1x leverage. There's NVDG, leverage 2x by leverage shares. So you can just roll down through here and see it. If you have a particular brand you like, you can type it in. Like if you wanted to know if Direxion has something, you just type it in Direxion and look down through here and find what you're looking for.
This is Trading View.
And it's TradingView. Yeah. It's free to use. You don't even have to make an account. You don't have to pay to use this. You can just go load it up and use it. Don't even have to pay anything. It's craziest. It's like one of the most useful pieces of software I know of that costs nothing to use.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I like Direxion? Because I've traded leverage tickers for a long time, and Direxion, it's kind of like, um, which checking the cash place do you trust? You know, there's sketchy checking the cash places. There's good checking the cash places. Payday loan places. Which one do you trust? Direxion's a company, a brand that I've dealt with a lot of years, and they seem to be a little more trustworthy than some of the ones like leverage shares or yield max or
Yeah, they all go about it different. And I think that one of the simplest ways you can tell if you like the manager is by the chart of the net asset value of the fund. So we don't like the yield max stuff, mostly because the net asset value, if you look at what were we playing? NVDY, some of these CONY, some of them, they're advertising a
Connie.
triple digit yield, but you're getting absolutely killed in the net asset value. Look at that. That thing's been cut in half.
And
Uh,
discount the premium to NAV.
it's brutal. They're paying you out it's almost like a Ponzi scam now. Uh, it's just bad. The options don't exist. The yield
Expense
is
ratios
sketchy. The
high.
expense ratio is super high. No beta, just junk. And they advertise this for passive income, And when you look at that dividend yield of 80%, first of all, that shouldn't say dividend yield. That should say uh, derivative yield, because that's what it is. To pay a dividend is a share of profits paid to the shareholder. There's no corporate profit here. It's all options. And as you can see, they're not doing a good job of it, right? If you look at, I don't think Yield Max is worth anything. And when you look at J.P. Morgan, JEP-Q, and JEP-I, it's a much better situation for the shareholder. Take a look at JEP-Q.
Yeah. Yeah. JEPQ is one that I recommend to kids that don't really have any knowledge of
See,
stocks.
See, now the only hiccup in this thing is when they threw the baby out with the bathwater in Liberation Day. But other than that, this is the opposite. It's actually kind of trending higher, right?
But when
Uh,
you take into account the dividend that they keep paying, though, it recovered very quickly.
Super quick, and boy, did that boost the dividend when it dropped. Holy mackerel, the yield was off the charts. But this J.P. Morgan, they're not gonna have a deal where the net asset value is just going to be driven into the ground. That's not them. They got too much reputation on the line, and they got too much clientele that they don't want to see just get obliterated. Again, they're making money off the management fee, and if the assets under management are going down, they're losing money. This is a good one to consider, and they're not all structured the same. Some of them are just covered call ETFs and highly leveraged, and you can get maybe not, you're not going to get 80% yield on this. You're going to get 10, but you're also not going to get demolished with the net asset value.
But you get, 10% plus you get the appreciation.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas a lot of people like the JEPI, but when you look at the net appreciation, it hasn't fully recovered yet. And
No.
the dividend payout is 2% lower.
Yeah, and the beta on these isn't good enough for a cash secured put, in my opinion. I just straight up park. If I have money that I'm not doing anything with, I just park it in there. And I have a little bit of it in my dividend income fund just to boost the overall yield. I don't play real high yield stuff, but I got a little bit of this just to juice it up a bit. But no cash secured put here, no covered calls. Just I'm buying it for the yield, and if I see a trade I want, then I'll sell this and use that money. It's a good place to park cash along with what was your other one? PAAA and
Yeah,
TBIL.
PAAA and JAAA.
Yeah, that's a great one. Look at that again here. You can get a nice divvy 5.1% without getting killed with the net asset value. That's a
Yeah,
really nice one.
yeah, this had a little hiccup, but when you look at the prices here, that's only about $1 that it
Yeah,
fluctuated during Liberation Day.
yeah, nothing. So that's pretty
And
safe. And TBIL is one I use too. Those are kind of the three that I like to spread money out on.
and T-bill here, you
Yeah.
could, you really 100% winner. You could jump in, say the 4th of the month,
Yep.
ride it up to, right at the end of the month, sell it out
Yep.
and, do that
Over and over and over
over and
again.
over and over. Now, if you were in an account that has wash sales, you'd take the wash sale. If you were mark to market accounting, trader tax status, mark to market, you wouldn't have to worry about the wash sales. But you could do this every month and have 100% winner. It always goes up.
Hmm.
And you wouldn't have to worry about the dividend.
These are short. The reason this chart looks like that is these are short-term T-bills, and so they mature and rebuy and mature and rebuy, and that's why you see that line that looks weird like that.
And they pay out the dividend every month, but it's not necessarily consistent every month. But you
No,
could, you could get in and get out, and you have the dividend. Then you wait for a week, and then you get back in and get out. Wait for a week, get back in, get back out. And like I said, you'd have to watch out for a wash sale. But there, you could rotate between a couple different ones of them. There's Bills that does the exact same move.
exact same thing. Yep.
So
A
you could
little
go
less
from
yield, but that's another good one.
so as long as you stay out for 31 days, you can, you can rotate between the two of them.
Look at a bait on that thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the risk-free rate in the
It's a
market.
risk-free rate of return right there, whatever a T-bill is paying. But I don't, I see the question, do you trade this one? Dinesh says, no, I wouldn't. I just use it. You got to have some place to park money. One of the biggest scams with Schwab and these guys is they don't pay you anything on cash, and they're lending it out at margin rates and mortgage rates and everything else. But yeah, you got to get something for your cash.
Yeah, when you adjust for the dividend payments, there you go. That's the chart. It's just straight up.
Yeah, I like this thing. And so, the risk free rate of money is a T bill. So if you don't want to worry about anything, put it in T bills. You can also use the risk free rate of money, which is 4%, to compare that to something else, right? If you can get 4% with no risk, then you got to compare that. How much more could you get with more risk? But this is the risk free rate.
Right there. If you just wanted to park your cash, you could park it right here in T-bill,
That's
bills
what
or
I do.
T-bill
Yeah. And I
and just
don't
ride
take
it.
the every time I get the distribution, I reinvest it in more T bill. And that thing
This
will just
is
start to snowball like you can't believe. This is awesome. I love
this
this one.
is AAA rated collateralized bonds.
Never failed, right?
Never had one of these default ever in the history of the United States. And adjusting for the dividend, it just goes straight up. Another one, JAAA,
Yeah, yeah, I like that one.
5.29%.
I know
Just
some guys that just have these and that's it. Just this, they have these funds like this. And
you
that's
can
it.
just
They don't want any more. They're like 5.29. The more money the guy has, the less risk he wants, I find, as they get older. You know, they're totally happy if you got, $75 million in JAAA. Forget the rest of the market.
yeah. So I mean, this is just if you just wanted to, if you had enough money to ride passively on 5.29%, you can just throw it in J AAA, or you can split it in
Yeah,
half, put some in P AAA, J AAA, and just ride. We've never had a
never.
single AAA rated collateralized bond go bust.
Nope. And it pays monthly, I believe. So,
Yeah,
if you're a
absolutely.
retiree that just wants to see that cash flow, that's what I love about it. And someday I'll turn off the reinvest and take it. But right now I'm just letting it snowball.
Now, if you look at it, on the monthly with the fluctuations, that's what you see. But when you take into account the dividends, adjust for dividends, it's just a nice, smooth, always making more money.
Yep. So what'll happen is, you sell a bunch of calls and you're sitting on a bunch of cash for a while, and until you can deploy it, I just roll it into this. It's commission free, right? Just makes more sense than leaving a ton of cash there. It's still, I still consider it cash, even though it has that position, but it's not really at risk. So I consider it just cash.
Yeah, the one before J AAA is P AAA.
Yep, that's a beauty. TBILL. TBIL. Yeah.
Yeah, TBIL. And then there's Bills, which is, another one similar. This one's run by State Street. T-bill is run by, I'm not even sure who that's run by. It's not run by the Treasury.
No, that's run by, gosh, I should know. I'm embarrassed. Pro
Let's see.
shares or iShares?
Looks like it's run by Capital Group,
Yeah,
1251 Capital Group.
never heard of them. Pretty safe. It's actively managed, which is cool. So before I did T-bill, I used to do it myself. Uh, with 4 week T-bills, and what a pain in the butt that is, to get the QSIP number and go through the auction process, and it took a ton of time. And just moving it over to TBIL, I'll gladly pay the tiny little management fee, and I never have to worry about it. And plus, if you buy from Treasury Direct, you can't sell them on that platform. You have to transfer them out of there and then sell them. Real pain in the butt. For me, it's easier just to do this.
And you can see what happened when they started increasing the Treasury rate. This thing exploded relatively. I mean, you look at the actual numbers, it's not much. But the adjusted
Okay.
basis, there you go.
That's your safe stuff. And then your risky stuff is TSLL. I wouldn't put nearly as much in TSLL as I would in T-bill, right? Just a 2% or so in each trade, but you could put all you want in this thing.
I probably have 30% put in TSLO, quite honestly. But
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
still a young
Well,
guy. Still a young guy,
my
trying to make my
portfolio isn't balanced either at all. That's way too tech heavy, That's no balance for me.
so gotta be careful out there, everybody. That's the name of
Yeah,
the
you
game.
do. How's Fly looking today?
Let's go check it out.
I got called out at 23 and I haven't been able to get back in.
Well, it's taking a little dip today. Hit its head up
Mm.
here at 30 and 31 and
Yeah,
pulling back to 28 and a half.
good. I'm going to sell some more cash secured puts on this thing. I like this whole thing, this little Fly.
Yeah, I'm down here at 2050 for this Friday. I don't think I'm gonna get called out or put
2050?
20. Yeah, 2050. I don't think I'm gonna get put.
Yeah, I
I
don't
say
think
called out, but I mean put.
yeah.
I sold a put down here 2050 last Friday out for 2 Friday. I guess it was 2 Fridays back out, for this Friday. And I kind of expect it to keep chugging up here to 37. Then we may get a bigger pullback again. It may swing back down here
Yep.
before we go higher.
I'll take it. I'll take out this one is almost I'm going to load up on this one. Really love this one. And ASTS.
And we just keep
Yeah,
struggling to reach up there and hit that target.
I know. It touched 100, but barely.
Yeah. I mean, it hit 102 back here in October.
Did those top little candle wicks hit 100?
Yeah, it touched 102 again.
Okay. So
And
that's
it needs to
what's
reach
this?
on up here to 114.
Yeah.
Now it could pull back before it does that, though. That's entirely possible.
Either
Um,
way, I'm good. I like this.
several several people outside of the show have asked me why I chose Rocket Lab and not ASTS. And it just comes back to the fact that Rocket Lab the pattern here to me is cleaner. And Rocket Lab made me a bunch of money back here in the summer. And I was waiting for a pullback. I waited from here in July, August, till all the way here in November, December for this pullback to show up. That was, made me wait August, September, October, November, December. Made me wait 5 months. This is the patience and discipline. I didn't front run it. I didn't jump in. I didn't have FOMO. I just waited. And when it set up, I jumped on it again. I got in to a call spread for $1.98 and sold it out for $7. Now I'm
Dang.
back. Now I'm back in wait mode again. But this one hit the target.
That's hot, man.
And
That's a big gain.
ASTS, the pattern just hasn't been as clear. It's been a little more choppy, and it just didn't spark my interest as much. And you can see it didn't run on up here and hit the target like Rocket Lab did.
Hmm.
Still waiting. So why Rocket Lab and not ASTS? I just have a personal preference for making money. And I can't explain why Rocket Lab, I went after Rocket Lab and it made me money. And then I went after Rocket Lab again and it made me money.
Yeah.
I I haven't had this strong attraction to ASTS. And if I had gotten in here, I'd still be waiting for the money. So,
Beta higher on Rocket Lab too, I believe.
1.22 here, RKLB. Yeah, we're at 218. So yeah, a little bit higher on Rocket Lab.
Better trend in Rocket Lab too.
Yeah, it's cleaner. It's like that's what I was talking about. It's when we get the trend, we get a nice clean pullback and we get a nice clean continuation. And then we get a nice clean pullback and a nice clean continuation. And maybe it runs on up and we get a nice pullback and I'll probably be on it again until it, proves to be a poor mistress.
Now, have you changed your mind on Fermi?
I'm still,
This
I'm
little
not touching
sucker's
that.
going to call me out at 10, man.
I'm not going to touch
I'm
that
bummed.
until I'm not
I'm
going to touch
bummed
it.
out. I don't want to get called out at 10. You're not touching it?
I'm not touching it until we
I bought
confirm a
more. I
bottom.
bought more today at 10:03.
Man, I tell you what, playing with fire, you're gonna suck me into this one like it did Circle, and I'm gonna be sitting on it.
You'd be wheeling and dealing. The only thing I don't like, there's a couple things, but there's no weeklies on this, which is, I really love trading weeklies. But what's messed up is you can still get money for a $7.50 put that expires Friday. These options are way not right.
And this one doesn't even have the options data down here.
Has nothing. Yeah. So for folks listening, I don't recommend this. I like to speculate small amount, and this has a terrible story, which I love. Bad news, which I love. They're getting sued, which I love. Uh, yeah, all kind of bad news. Bum people out, and all kind of
And a
two-sided
downtrend.
party, all downtrend. This thing has sufficiently made everybody unhappy. So I took a little nibble at 770. I got filled, and then I've been bought some at 880, 882, and bought a little more at 1003 today. But I
Hey,
sold the $5 puts, even if you can believe that. $5 put. It ain't even been down to $5, and there's a
yeah,
market for the $5 put.
that's
That's
off the
insane.
screen.
Yeah, and a $10 call. And so I got it boxed in,
Yeah, so he's got $5 puts sold down here.
and some 750s and some $10 calls, and I'm long a couple six, 700.
I just can't I have this, I don't have any roadmap line. I don't have my orange line, but even without that, I can tell this is a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high so far. And until I get something that looks like that, I usually just don't mess with it. Like
Yeah, I'm messing with it. It's got that gap down that has to be filled in. This thing, it's a pretty high conviction trade for being such a horrible looking chart.
the difference here, when we first looked this up, we already had this move and this move, and I was willing to take a shot at it with that big, nice, strong. Like it just touched here and immediately ran back higher. We went from 16 up to 23 immediately. Then we pulled back to a 618 and it immediately ran again. It went higher high. Pulled back to a 618 and immediately ran higher again. And we may pull back to a 618 again and immediately run higher again. So that's an uptrend, right? That's higher lows,
Higher highs.
higher highs. This was a higher high actually. That's a higher high. So right now, when I look at this, that reversal is already in place. Like the first time I took a trade on this, when Jack brought it up, and I was like, ooh, that was already a reversal in place. Fermi
Not there yet.
doesn't like this is not a reversal in place. The last high was here. That's not a high. That's a gap down. That's the low. This move up is not a higher high. That's a lower high. To me, that's still a downtrend. There's still risk here. I don't like to lose money, so I'm gonna still wait. Now, I may miss the bottom. No big deal. I've missed plenty of stuff. I can pull up thousands of charts and show you every trade I missed.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't be in this. It goes against everything I normally do and preach and everything else. It's just when I read the story, I couldn't resist it. And so, yeah, this is great analysis. Just this is what makes a market where one guy wants to do one thing and another guy doesn't. I love this thing.
It
But
doesn't fit my criteria for bottoming. Now, there's plenty of stuff I pull up that Jack's like, I'm not touching that.
yeah,
Like Gap, I've
yeah.
traded the crap out of Gap and made money in Dollar Tree. There was no way Jack was going to touch Dollar Tree.
I just didn't see it, and you just have a better way of finding value in a trade.
This
This
I
thing doesn't even have a beta. I wouldn't even look at this. It wouldn't even come up on any way, shape, or form on any scanner I would have because the beta is too low and the price is kind of too high, right? You need
yeah
11,800 for one put, or whatever, 10 grand. It just, this doesn't fit. It's really not in a trend. But yet, as I say, what one trader doesn't want, another trader finds a way to make money out of it. But you can find a needle in a haystack, literally. So I'm not surprised you could squeeze a buck out of a Dollar Tree.
And then this has potential to come on up here to 300. Now I got called out at 120, 125. I got put at 100. By the time I got put, I had collected $5 in premium per contract. So I rode from 95 was my cost basis up to 125. That's 30 bucks a share. And I had 200 shares. So that was $6,000 profit just by screwing with that little bubble right there in the middle
Crazy.
of some sideways chop.
Now, what first drew you to this?
What drew me to it?
A
I've
long
been
time ago or
watching
recently?
I've been watching dollar stores bottom while all this we're seeing the consumer struggle. And I was watching dollar stores go down, which is counter to the trend. Now all of a sudden dollar stores are indicating that our bottom feeders, now people are trading down, people are whatever, but bottoms dollar stores are starting to do what they do in recessions. This is starting to be a recessionary indicator that dollar stores are starting to strengthen. Dollar General, same kind of thing going on here, turning the bottom, nice big upside potential. Um, Ollie's Bargain Hunters has that same like potential bottom showing up in here. Now this one hadn't been as beat down. People have been trading down to Ollie's before they started shopping at Dollar General, but this also has a potential bottom in place. So it's just a
What do they sell at Ollie's?
little bit of everything, man. As seen on TV and all sorts of crap. So
Hardware or food or what?
no, it's like just crap, like just yeah. I can pull it up, I guess. Let's see.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Let me see. Ollie's. Yeah.
I got to go in a dollar store. I want to. Is everything a dollar or that's
No,
just a misnomer?
Ollie's is like great stuff cheap. I mean, they got socks and shirts and I mean
Oh
just
man,
crap. Like I said, just
Walmart.
my dad loves this store. You get
What's
candy and protein crisps and I mean just
wow,
videos and just a
wow,
store full of crap. I've never even been there, but my dad loves this store.
that's crazy.
Yeah, look at that. Toys and games, food and candy, books, cheap kitchen, cleaning supplies, bathroom, bed, decor, flooring.
So are they competing with nobody really? They're not competing with Walmart or Costco, are they? They're just their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I see them as more competing in that low end dollar store, maybe Five
Yeah, dollar
Below.
store.
Five, let's see, Five Below be another kind of business in this same market. They've turned a bottom back here and had the potential to go up. Yeah. I went into a Five Below recently for the first time.
What is
And
that? A store like a
same
dollar
kind of
store?
store. Yeah, same kind of dollar cheap stuff store, cheap crap store.
I haven't been in a regular store in a long time, man, of any kind, other than the fly shop. But yeah,
Yeah,
I got to
so
get out and see what's going on out there.
Five Below. Let's see. Yeah, just crap. $7, $5, $6.
Yeah, I guess there's no reason for me to go to a store if that's all they got.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should go here. I just we
No,
did we did some stocking stuff shopping at Five Below. Picked up some candy and stuff. So
kindling for a fireplace. That's
so anyway,
yeah, I love Orvis. I love Orvis and Filson. Andrew asks.
Orvis listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, right there, Orvis
Wow.
Corp.
Didn't know that. They got pretty good gear.
So anyway, all over the place, right?
Yeah, all over. See, no tech though. That's my thing. These are all great companies, but with low betas and funky charts. Nah, I don't like it. I like the juicier stuff.
I find a lot of these on the PowerX optimizer, quite honestly.
Oh, on the
Um,
scanner there?
Yeah. I got this set up. A lot of my I get attracted to them on earnings because, earnings tends to pay a little higher on the return. And I'll get sucked into them, but I got to have a bullish chart too. I can't just go after just complete crap. So, um, let me see if I can load this up. We can look at a few things. Since we have earnings coming up, let me see if it'll pop up and we can jump through a few opportunities.
Does Gap sell online? Mostly, I know they used to be in malls,
And I think they,
90s.
Banana Republic still has a lot of standalone
Oh,
stores.
wow. That's
So
crazy.
you've got, here's our conservative stuff here. IREN. There's not a lot on the list today. So IREN, I probably wouldn't play it. We can't be below the support. Galaxy Digital. It's funny crypto stuff on here. I would have a hard time getting after that, but maybe if I was going to sell put on that 23, I'd have to really, think about that. And crypto's just not strong right now.
Mm-mm.
So getting involved in these in Hut 8, they're about to break out because they're going after the data center, AI data center stuff, really hot and heavy. So
Going
this
after
one,
it how? This is crypto, no?
well, it's crypto, but they were crypto mining and they're taking all their power contracts and kind of stopping mining crypto and leasing out to subleasing to data centers that need power. So they can make like 20 to 60 bucks per kilowatt hour mining Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of those cryptos, or they can take that money and make $600 per kilowatt hour leasing to an AI data center. And so they've been 10 times in their potential returns, and the stock price is repricing to account for that. And we're seeing that happen in Hut, and we're seeing it happen in Riot a little bit.
Oh,
Whereas
wow.
it's
I haven't traded Riot in years.
whereas it's not happening in Mora and not happening in BTBT. So it's kind of, you know, it's one of these where the crypto mining companies that are pivoting to AI stuff are getting rewarded. And that's, IREN is one of those, Hut 8 is one of those. But the ones that aren't changing, that aren't, you know, reevaluating their life choices, like Mara, is still they're still sitting at the lows. They're still getting punished. They're still getting shorted to death. They're down here at the multi-year lows. So,
That one's had a tough time.
yeah. And that's just not a lot of stuff coming up in here today, meeting my criteria. So, but that's where I find some of the stuff is I'll come in here and look at the conservative list. Yeah, there's the PXO defaults, and right now just Delta Airlines showing up in here. They had earnings yesterday, getting punished a little bit on that, but my JT list, not a lot coming up in here. Just not a lot. Yeah, there we go. Now we got a little bit more showing up. Netflix. And I'd have a hard time going after Netflix right now.
Nothing on the way down.
Downtrend.
Just gives you
UA,
more problems, right?
yeah.
You do a secured cash secured put and you get the stock and it goes down. You sell some calls, it keeps going down. Yeah, I don't like a downtrend. Too many problems.
Now UAL might be a reasonable one. Let's crank this up to 40. Yeah, that's where a bunch of them disappear. It's cranking cranking the return on
ROI.
investment up. Yeah, the
Yeah.
ROI. SMCI, I wouldn't touch that one. And it's just not a lot of excitement right now. Maybe as we get on into earnings here, but that was at all-time highs. That even though aluminum's pretty hot right now, I'd have a hard time just buying in the middle of a big trend like that.
Yeah.
I
No,
like a little
no
dip.
real reason.
I like a little dip, not to buy at the top of an exponential spike.
Hmm. Hmm.
But speaking of something I've been playing on an exponential spike, gold just keeps ripping.
It defies logic.
defies logic. And I have a little short-term trade that I put on, and Blake's going to play a replay about this that we did on Friday. This trade we did last weekend paid out big. Some people getting almost 200% gains.
Mm.
It's pretty sweet. Got out on Monday. Going to wait for Wednesday, tomorrow, to potentially get in again.
Mhm.
And Blake's got the replay for everybody right here.
I do. So let me just take the screen back here and make sure I can share audio so all the good folks can hear it. And if you
Make
guys have
sure.
any questions about this, just let me know. It is gold, which is great. No better time for it. So without further ado, you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
A bigger correction in the market than we've seen since 1929. And if this pattern plays out, we can see the S&P get a 50%